And now, Death Valley Days. Howdy, folks. I'm the old ranger, and I have another interesting true story for you about the historic Death Valley country.
High above the Yuba River on the west slope of the Sierras stands the famous old mining camp of Camptonville, born in the gold rush. There are only a couple hundred folks living there today, but among them are descendants of the early pioneers. So to Camptonville I went to get this story for you. A story I call Wheel of Fortune. The first thing you see as you enter the town is this monument with an inscription which begins, "On this spot in 1878, yes, here's where it happened. The discovery that added more to the wealth of the world than all the gold of California." On up the main street I went and found the man I was looking for. Here he is, William Groves of Camptonville, California. In case you're wondering what this object is in front of him, it's the head of an old sewing machine. What make is it, Bill?
Grover and Baker, Boston, 1849.
It came around the Horn during Gold Rush days and ended up in Camptonville, in the home of Mrs. Margaret Groves, this man's grandmother. She was then a bride?
Yes, she and my grandfather came west from Ohio in 1850.
Well, tell us something about them.
Well, he was a teamster. There was a lot of hauling in and out of Camptonville in those days. My grandmother ran a boarding house for the teamsters.
Besides raising a family of 5 children. Here's a picture of the Groves family.
That's right. My father, Frank, was the middle one.
Now, this sewing machine that's come down through 3 generations, what's so important about it?
Look, old Ranger, I'm no storyteller. That's your job.
All right. Well, we roll back to the year of 1877. This is how Camptonville looked at that time. Below the town are the diggings where hydraulic monitors sluice the gold from the hillside. Above the town is a reservoir which supplies the town with water. And small boys like Frank Groves with an excuse to take a roundabout way home from school.
You almost fell in, but I didn't. If you had, you'd have been sucked into that pipe and drowned, but I wasn't. Anything you can do. Yeah. Bet you can't climb to the top of that tree. Neither can you. Oh, no? See that white rag near the top? I tied it there. When you get up there, you can see all over the town, past the mills, and clear down to the diggings. Well, ain't you gonna do it? I haven't got time today. Brady cat. Anyhow, it's getting late and I've gotta go home. I dare you. All right, I'll do it. Well, go on. I'll help you get started. Hey, come on down! I can't. I'll fall. You hang on. I'll go fetch a ladder. Hurry up! Mr. Pelton! Mr. Pelton! Let me have your ladder.
And what for?
Hattie make us up a tree.
Grab the back end.
Help! Help! Someone help! Hurry up!
We'll get you, Hattie. Hang on.
I'm getting awful tired. Hurry up!
That's the boy. Let me go. Hang on, Hattie. I'm coming. All right, Hattie. Now, you do what I tell you. Now, here, you put this foot down here. Come on. You're doing fine. That's it. What? Yeah, there's a branch. Now, the next one. That's the girl. Now we're going. Now, the next one. Come on. Come on, Hattie. Now, the next one. There you go, Hattie. Everything's all right now.
She's dead.
No, she just fainted. Here, I'll carry her home, huh?
She lives right next door to us.
All right, here you go.
I was awful scared.
Mercy, what happened to you, Hattie? Your dress is all torn.
I got stuck in a tree about a mile high. It was awful. It was all my fault. I dared her.
Oh, Frank.
She's none the worse for it, ma'am, except for her clothes.
Mr. Pelton brought a ladder.
Well, you let me take her dress, Mrs. Meek. I'll mend it. I can do it. No, I feel responsible.
Oh, I tore my petticoat, too. Oh, and my...
Never mind, Hattie. You've enough mending of your own, Mrs. Groves. But I do have a sewing machine. You put extra work on me yesterday. Now you can make up for it.
Ah, gee. I promised Mr. Pelton I'd come down to his shop.
I want you to fill both the wood boxes. After that, you can set the mouse traps.
Yoo-hoo, Frank! Come on out and play! Hey, that's Hattie. Have I got to work all day Saturday?
Everyone else in this family has chores.
Not Liddy.
Lydia's only a baby. Frank, will you please get a move on?
After I finish, then can I go down to Mr. Pelton's?
What for?
Just to watch him work.
It seems to be a habit of yours, watching other folks work.
I'm getting the kindling right away. What you doing?
Well, I'm trying to figure something out here.
A water wheel?
Yep, that's the water wheel.
Nothing new, is it?
No. They've had water wheels for 4,000 years, since the days of Pharaoh. And you know, the ones we're using in the mills of Camptonville today are no great improvement over those primitive wheels.
slow, they're clumsy. Only get a fraction of the power out of water that they should.
You know something? I'm going to be a millwright, too, when I grow up.
Well, that's good. You make up your mind and you stick to it.
Like you.
Me? I've tried my hand at everything. Came out here to California in '49 from Ohio.
Ohio? So did Ma and Pa.
Grub for gold all up and down the riverbeds, with no luck. Then I turned to fishing for a living on the Sacramento. There wasn't much future in that. Then I came up here to Cantonville, thinking I might have another try at mining. But by that time, they'd started the big hydraulic operations. And a fellow with no capital didn't have a chance.
You must have been getting pretty old.
36. Yep, 36 and nothing to show for it. That's when I became a millwright.
You have a lot to show for that.
Well, I helped build most of the big stamp mills around here and the schoolhouse.
You didn't build that.
And you stopped wishing it had burned down.
How'd you know?
All boys do. Well, I guess I'll close up shop and call her a day, huh?
So early?
Well, it's after 6. Supper time with you, isn't it?
I suppose.
You suppose? Boy, I understand your mom's one of the best cooks in Camptonville.
Yeah, she cooks all right.
You should see what they sling at us down at the miners' hash house.
Hey, Mr. Pelton, why don't you come and board at our house?
Oh, now, I wasn't hinting.
No, honest. My mother feeds all the Teamsters. One more person wouldn't matter.
Yeah, that sounds mighty tempting. To an old bachelor. Eating a real home, huh?
You wouldn't have to sit by either of my sisters. You could sit next to me.
I'll tell you what. You ask your mom, and if she says yes, it'll suit me fine.
Oh, boy.
And so Lester Pelton became a member of the Groves family. Time rolls on. 6 months, a year, till we come to another Saturday morning in 1878.
How did it go, dear? Oh, this isn't straight at all. The first thing to learn is to keep your feet moving steadily on the pedal. Don't jerk.
Hello, Mr. Pelton.
Well, what's this? Sewing bee?
Not me.
Hattie's having a lesson on the sewing machine.
Don't look at it. It's all crooked.
She finds it hard to work the treadle.
Well, I should think she might. Those short little legs.
Right.
Never mind. My own legs ache sometimes after a long stint. But then I think, what if I had to do it all by hand, the way women used to?
I'm glad I'm a man.
Well, men sew too, you know.
They do.
Yes, sir. It was a man who invented this machine. It's a tailor who sewed for a living.
Yeah. Ow!
No, you don't. You just stop it.
Wait. You just wait.
Didn't Hattie hear the bell?
Here she comes now.
Well, come and sit down, Hattie.
Excuse me. What makes you walk so funny? Nothing. Sideways like a crab. Ow! Stop kicking.
Frank, behave yourself.
Hey, looky.
Ink. How did it happen?
I guess it just dropped in the inkwell. Both of them? It was Frank. I saw him.
Frank.
He did it deliberately. Tattletale. She has ink spots in back of her dress.
Let me see. Turn around. Oh, Hattie, your nice merino. Frank Groves, how could you be so naughty?
It'll wash out.
It will not. the dress will have to have a whole new back put in. Then that's a big, fussy job.
I'm sorry.
If your father was home, you'd get a good licking. I ought to give you one myself, but I'm just too worn out.
My mother can fix the dress, Mrs. Groves.
A dress my son ruined. I wouldn't dream of it. I'll do it myself tonight.
Mrs. Groves. Mrs. Groves.
Oh, my goodness. I must have fallen asleep.
It's after midnight. I just came in. I was down at the shop tinkering. So you better put up your work and get to bed.
I can't do that. I've got to finish this dress.
Oh, well, not tonight.
Hattie's mother is coming home tomorrow. I don't want her to find the dress in this state.
You're worn out, Mrs. Groves.
I'm all right.
I wish I could help you.
Don't you worry about me.
There must be some way to make it easier.
We pick up the course of our story a few weeks later. Weeks during which Lester Pelton has done a lot of mysterious tinkering in his shop. And we come to a day in the summer of 1879.
All right, now, Frank, hand me that wrench, huh?
It's a good thing Ma's in the kitchen making currant jelly. She'd be out here and see us.
That's why I picked this morning.
Mrs. Meek's coming over when we get it all rigged up.
Well, you told her?
I just said we had a surprise for Mom.
Oh.
I didn't say what. Hey, where's the wheel?
It's hidden around the corner of the house. I'll go get it.
What if it don't work?
Oh, it'll work. No what if about it.
Sure a lot of trouble you went to.
You know, nothing's too much trouble, Frank, if it makes things easier for women folk. Don't you forget it.
What about the men folks?
Yep, them too.
Frank! Oh, Frank!
It's all set.
I'm out here, Ma, on the porch.
I need some more sugar for my jelly. Will you go down? Oh, my machine. What's it doing out here?
It'd be too wet in the house.
Wet? What have you done to it? What is all this contraption?
Well, this is something I rigged up so you can sew without working that treadle.
It'll work all by itself.
Well, with the help of water. Now, look. See, there's a wheel inside here. Now, I put a case around it to keep it from splashing, you see? Now, the water comes in through this small nozzle and goes in through... Well, let me show you. It's easier than trying to explain. Here, now, you sit down right here.
Isn't this wonderful? All I'm doing is just guiding the needle. I can hardly believe it.
Yep, her feet ain't even touching the treadle.
Get away from my skirts, Frank.
I wish I could try it.
Think of the boon it'll be when you're working on men's heavy clothes. Mr. Pelton, you're a genius. How'd you ever think up such a thing?
He's been tinkering for ages down in his shop.
Water power's been an obsession with me ever since I came to California and worked around these rivers.
This wheel is just perfect.
No, it could be improved.
I don't see how.
Well, you see, there's still a lot of power in this little stream of water we're not using.
We're getting all we need.
Well, for a little machine like this, yes, but now what about the big machinery in our mines and our mills? You think of all that potential power locked up, going to waste. I'm no engineer, but I'm going to keep on experimenting until I've found the answer. A wheel that gets the utmost out of water.
By George, I have got it! I've got it!
This partition does the trick. Now, the water splits as it hits the cups, and you get a force from two streams instead of one. It's the secret I've been looking for.
Events moved fast after that for Lester Pelton. Working feverishly in his shop, he produces his first model of a so-called splitter wheel. From there to bigger and better models, turned out in a nearby foundry.
1880, Pelton receives a patent on his invention.
1883, competitive tests at the great Idaho Maryland mine. The Pelton wheel wins, hands down. Orders come in from other mines, from mills. They all want Pelton wheels to operate their machinery. And then something nobody has ever dreamed of. The Pelton wheel is hitched up to a dynamo. Hydroelectric power is on its way. Today, the world over in hydroelectric plants, huge Pelton wheels convert rushing water into heat and light and power. Each wheel, with its divided cups, a monument to the obscure tinker, whose invention revolutionized industry and brought incalculable benefits to every one of us.
So there's the true story of the invention of the Pelton water wheel and the part your grandmother's sewing machine played in it, Bill. It's wonderful that your family has preserved such a valuable memento. And thank you so much, Bill, for coming on our Death Valley Day show to help us tell the story of the Wheel of Fortune.
Thank you, old Ranger, for having me.